everyone wants to visit Hawaii. With some of the best beaches and oceans on Earth, it's a destination like no other. But normally getting there looks like this. Well, not today, because I have the privilege to fly Hawaiian Airlines First Class, which is arguably the best and most luxurious way to get to and from Hawaii, and I'll be showing you the entire experience. So let's get started at Honolulu International Airport, where today I have an 8 a.m. departure, so I am rather sleepy. I weigh my bags, and then I head inside to the first class check-in counter. Here, a very friendly Hawaiian Airlines representative checks me in and gives me my boarding pass. Then it's on to security. Someone please remind me again why everyone doesn't have TSA PreCheck. If you don't already have it, this line should be enough to convince you. Hawaiian Airlines departs out of Terminal 1, and about half of this terminal reminds me more of a prison than of an airport. Since today we're flying first class, we have access to the Hawaiian Airlines Premier Club, which I have to honestly say I think is the worst airport lounge I've ever been to. We've got the lack of basically any natural light, a very mediocre set of drink choices. Oh boy, Fanta Fruit Punch? God, who wouldn't want to drink Fanta Fruit Punch at 6 a.m.? Now hold on, maybe I'm being unreasonable. Of course the food selection is gonna make up for this. We got some Biscoff biscuits. Okay, decent start. What else we got? Nothing. Yeah, that is literally all the food they had. At this point, I was contemplating if I should leave the lounge or stay, to accept the mediocrity that Hawaiian Airlines was providing for free, or to venture out on my own into the airport but potentially costing me money. And I left. But not before grabbing a snack for the road. And I'm glad I left, because the other part of Terminal 1, the section that my flight was departing out of, is so much better. The ceilings are significantly higher, it feels much more modern, and there are massive windows letting in tons of natural light. It's getting close to boarding time now, so let's go check out our plane. Our aircraft today is an Airbus A330, which is equipped with Hawaiian Airlines' latest and greatest first-class product. Our destination is Los Angeles, and our estimated flight time is 5.5 hours. Taking a look at the seat map, we can see that economy has an interesting 242 configuration, while in business, we have an internationally uncompetitive, yet domestically very competitive 222 layout. Our seat today is 3J, which is a window seat in the last row. Personally, my recommendation would be to take an A seat if you're leaving Hawaii to the mainland, or a J seat if you're leaving the mainland going to Hawaii. Although this is only really relevant if you care about the view. I'd also recommend avoiding the front row seats, both due to the proximity to the galley, as well as the curvature of the aircraft slightly restricting space. Now it is time to board. To the right is Cattle Class, and to the left is our cabin. The seating is reminiscent of brown leather armchairs, and the white hardshell design creates a modern feel. Now, it's a bit tough to convey on camera, but when you're sitting next to someone and the privacy divider is raised, you honestly really don't notice them. Also, the bamboo design is a nice touch. Another design element that helps with privacy is the fact that the seats are slightly off-angled from each other. Instead of looking directly ahead, you each look slightly to the side. A nice benefit to the rear window seats is that you have 4 full windows in your control. Now, the most unique feature of the seats has to be the footrest. Normally, if you're in a window seat in a 222 configuration, you'd have to climb over the passenger next to you to get into the aisle. But here, Hawaiian Airlines have done something very interesting. There's a small gap between the footrest and the seat in front of you, meaning you can actually get out without having to climb over the person next to you. As someone who drinks a bit too much carbonated water and finds myself going to the bathroom a few times, this is a very nice design decision. While seated, the ceiling feels high and spacious, but unfortunately, we don't have any individual air nozzles. Shortly after being seated, I'm given a choice of pre-departure beverages. It's 8 a.m. and I'm not an alcoholic, so I choose the glass of water. Sadly, not carbonated. And I also have a bite of the Cliff Bar I brought on board. Something that really impressed me about these seats is the significant amount of storage that they have, especially given the small footprint. There are 3 small and 1 large storage area, which is more than enough for anything you'd want to have at your seat, except maybe a very large laptop. This is so impressive to me because I have been on flights in international long-haul business class that have had less storage than this. On our left, we'll find a USB port and a lighting control. Additionally, near our feet will be the universal power plug. Also on our left is a wheel to control the seat recline. Since this is not a long-haul flight, Hawaiian Airlines only provides a pretty unremarkable standard blanket. A flight attendant collects my drink, and it is now time for pushback. The safety video is played, but because there is no individual seat back entertainment, it's kinda hard to see. Before I even know it, we're hurtling down the runway into the Hawaiian sky with beautiful views bound for Los Angeles. Now I think this is the perfect time to tell you exactly how I booked my ticket. I'm not personally in the habit of paying over $1,000 for a single one-way ticket, so instead what I did was purchase a normal economy ticket and then use 25,000 Hawaiian Airlines miles to upgrade into first. This is interesting because Hawaiian Airlines treats their upgrade availability different than their award availability, meaning even if there's no seats to actually book for first class using miles, there still may be saver upgrade space available. You can only check this to my knowledge by using a tool like Expert Flyer or calling in. The pricing is pretty interesting because it's 40,000 miles for a saver award and 25,000 miles for a saver upgrade. The price is the same regardless if you're departing from the West Coast or the East Coast, which potentially makes it a very interesting sweet spot. If you'd like to earn some miles for Hawaiian Airlines, you can transfer from both American Express and Bilt at a 1-to-1 ratio. You can also, of course, get the Hawaiian Airlines credit cards from Barclays Bank. The best choice for you is going to depend on your strategy and the current offers at the time. If you do plan to apply for any credit cards and you'd like to help support the channel greatly, then please consider using one of the affiliate links in the description. After takeoff, the service begins. For my beverage, of course I ask for a carbonated water. It had been a few hours since my previous one, so this just hit the spot. Since this is a morning flight, the meal service consists of breakfast. Here you can see the menu, which isn't extensive by any means, but pretty good for a domestic flight. The tray table is stored in the center armrest, and it has some serious heft to it. Interesting enough, the in-flight entertainment is provided via an iPad, which is held up by a stand also in the center console. The whole thing feels a bit clunky, but at least it lets him keep the display up to date. The meal service starts with a small plate of cold macadamia nuts, which is accompanied with another glass of my life's sweet elixir. Come on, you gotta admit that looks pretty refreshing. This little snack is good and all, but I'm just waiting for the main meal. My main is an omelet made with green beans, roasted potato, and macadamia nut pesto. Normally this would also come with bacon, but I'm vegetarian of course. For our sides, we have some fresh fruit, as well as a croissant with butter and jelly. A rather unique feature is the Hawaiian shirt-shaped salt and pepper shaker. This is a cool touch because it keeps the whole flying experience in the Hawaiian theme. So how was the meal? Honestly, I'd say it's pretty good. The omelet was flavorful, the pesto savory, and the fruit mostly ripe. The croissant also tasted good, but didn't have the best texture. I wouldn't say it was hard by any means, but it wasn't as soft as I'd like it, if that makes sense. Overall though, the meal was good enough. Was it Qatar Q-Suites level of catering? No. Was I satisfied with it? I'd say so, yeah. After I finish, dessert is brought out, which in this case is a pineapple yuzu cake. I'd give this a solid 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Look, it's not Michelin star or anything, but I think it was pretty decent. And you already know I'm washing it down with some carbonated water. When you're done eating, you want to put away the tray table. And my god, does this require some force. Taking a look at the iPad-based IFE, I found the overall selection to be more than sufficient. For TV shows, just know it suffers from the typical airline anti-binging features, where you'll only have like 2 episodes of any show, which is fine for something like Family Guy, but for any story-driven show, I'm not sure what the point is. Over-ear headphones are also provided, which are generic but of fair quality. Just know they don't provide any type of active noise cancellation. Now that I've eaten and watched some TV, I think it's time to check out the bed. Even when fully flat, there is a small gap between the seat and the footrest, but to be honest, you really don't notice it. The only bedding provided on this flight is that generic Hawaiian Airlines blanket we saw earlier, but again, I guess I really can't complain because it is a daytime, non-long haul flight. Did I sleep well? No. I just filmed these scenes as stock footage for this video. However, I do think it was comfortable enough where you could easily fall asleep, especially if you're on one of the longer flights from the East Coast. I am a sucker for cabin mood lighting. Particularly, I enjoy the starry night sky on the wall, although it's a little hard to see on camera. And if you want to get some work done while the cabin lighting is dimmed, no worries because each seat does have an individual reading light. Fake sleeping now over with, let's head up and configure our seat back into the standard position. All that sparkling water has done a number on me, so let's go check out the lavatory. I gotta say I was very impressed here. The restroom was spacious and clean. This has to be one of the best bathrooms on an airplane that I've ever seen. The plants that they add around are just such a nice touch. I haven't flown any gonzo first class products yet, such as Etihad, Emirates, or Singapore Airlines, so I'm sure my standards will be recalibrated soon enough. Back at my seat, I make sure to load up on some more carbonated water. The flight attendants also brought around 2 snacks, 1 little bag of pretzels, and 1 chocolate-covered macadamia nut. Additionally, there was the obligatory credit card pitch. At least the offer here is half decent though. Soon after, we begin our descent into Los Angeles, where I'm able to catch some pretty nice views. Now, what are my final thoughts and how would I rate this product? For US domestic first class, I would say this is a very competitive offering. I'm not gonna lie and say it's mega opulent and luxurious, but it was more than comfortable. On a 5-hour economy flight to Hawaii, I feel the time passing by. It's not the most fun, but on this 5-hour first class flight, it just flew by. The theme here is comfort, not necessarily luxury. So yes, Hawaiian Airlines First Class does receive my recommendation. If you enjoyed this video, giving it a like would really help with the YouTube algorithm. And also be sure to stay subscribed so you can be up to date with all future content that I make. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.